Hey everybody, this is Nay here. Welcome to my channel, The Ready Nurse Nay. It is my birthday, baby, and today I am the big 30 years old. These are my beautiful flowers from my wonderful husband right here, okay? So today's video is just really going to be a fun video talking about my 20s versus my 30s and just some lessons that I have learned along the way. I know it's not that big of a difference. I'm still pretty young, whatever, but I have still learned and experienced many different things from when I was 20, like right 20 versus going into 30, okay? So yeah, it's gonna be just a fun video. I have my little cup of water. I'm gonna try to keep it short, maybe 10 minutes or under, and yeah, it's gonna be talking about some lessons that I've learned within that time frame, and also almost like a devotional. So I'm gonna put like a few scriptures with each of the topics that I'm gonna be talking about today. So let's get started. So like I said, today is my birthday. I'm the big 30 today, and I just during some time of just reflecting about just my 20s versus, you know, right at 20 and then right at 30, how my life has changed so drastically, you know, from getting married and becoming a mother and going back to nursing school and just different life experiences that happen, experiencing the death of a parent, experiencing the death of grandparents and an uncle, and just so many family members and people getting sick, and it has been an interesting journey. So I'm just going to kind of share some of those lessons that I've learned along the way. I have my headphones in because it is a little dark outside. It's evening time, things are winding down, but then I also have clothes that I had to wash, and my son is in there watching TV. So putting these on so you can hear me and I can talk normal and be heard well. So yes, but anything, let's get started, okay? Yes. First thing is time. Let's talk about time. Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, "He has made everything beautiful in its own time." When I think of this, when I was right at 20 or my early 20s, it's like you're kind of like in the midst of everything. You're figuring out, you know, who you are as a person. You're figuring out, answering those big questions of what you want to do with your life for the rest of your life. What do you want to work in? You're in college, you know, maybe dating. You're in those early stage of deciding how do you want like the rest of your life to be. And I found in my early 20s, it's like I wanted to rush everything. It was like, you know, I wanted to be done quick. I wanted to finish school so that I can get that job and make great money. You know, wanted to get married, you know, have a family, have a house, have my social relationships and different things like that. You know, I was ready for it to get there and be gone, you know, get there and be there. You know, I rushed it, and I find, you know, if you're in your early 20s, don't do that. Just enjoy the ride, okay? Enjoy the moment. I find now in my 30s, that is what I do. I enjoy the ride. You know, I take it one step at a time. Just in my prayer time this morning, even thinking about nursing school, you know, I'm like, man, if I would have did this as my first degree, how much further along I will be in my career than doing it now. But God was like, hey, just enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey, enjoy the opportunity that you have to go back to school, that you have the support that you need to do what you need to do to go back to school. Just enjoy the ride. It's a part of your life. Enjoy the experiences that come with them, because the different things that I'm experiencing are not just like physical. Yes, I'm learning how to be a nurse, but I'm also growing spiritually as well. God is using my schooling process along with just all these things in my life to grow me spiritually. So just enjoying the ride. And I would say to myself in my early 20s, enjoy the ride, because before you know it, it's like gone. Like after 21, everything after that is just phew. So just enjoy the ride. Enjoy your relationships in your early 20s. Enjoy school. Enjoy the freedom and the flexibility that you have, because the older you get, the more responsibilities and obligations that you have and the less time you will have. So that's just a lesson I think that as a 30-year-old I would tell myself in my 20s. Just enjoy the ride. The next one is maturity. 1 Corinthians 13:11 says, "When I was a child, I thought like a child and I reasoned like a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish ways." Maturity. Of course, when you're in your early 20s, you're trying to figure everything out. you're immature in some things because maybe you haven't experienced some things, you haven't heard about certain things, you're immature. And maybe you can be a little naive, you just don't know, you're figuring things out. By the time you get to 30, your late 20s, your 30, you're kind of a little bit more settled, and you're more mature. Even if you might not have everything figured out, you're still more mature than you were at 20. I look at myself as a 30-year-old versus when I was 20. I mean, I have been married for 6 years now. So just having that experience of being a wife, we've been married for 6 years, and just different trials and things that come along, and the work and effort that it takes to be a wife, being a mother. I have a toddler who's 3. So just the experiences of being a mom, taking care of a child, partnering with the husband to take care of a child. That's a big responsibility. And then going back to nursing school, I think I went back at like 26, right when I had my son. So it's like going to school now with a family and stuff is so much harder than it was when I went to school and got my first degree in psychology that I got when I went straight from high school to college. After waiting for years and going back, now is so much harder because I have so many responsibilities that are a little bit more important than school. And so I have to take care of those responsibilities, and then I'm able to use whatever energy and effort I have left to take care of school. So just maturity. You gain so much knowledge and understanding, and just to be thankful for that. In the process, you have to go through it to get that knowledge and that understanding from it. Some stuff you just have to go through, and just knowing that, telling myself at 20, like, you're going to gain the maturity. You might not understand it now, but you're going to understand it eventually. You're going to understand it. Don't rush it. Just enjoy the ride, and that maturity comes through those different life experiences, those different things that you go through. It comes. Relationships, okay? Galatians 5:22-23 talks about the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. To let all of your relationships be sprinkled with this fruit of the Spirit. And sometimes that's hard because with relationships, I find a lot of people that I was like best buds with in my 20s, I don't talk to necessarily anymore in my 30s. And so your relationships change. And as you are maturing and growing and developing, your relationships are going to be maturing and growing and developing with you. And sometimes you might not be as close with people in your 20s by the time you get to 30. You still might talk to each other and communicate and cordial with each other, but you might not be as close, which is normal. I think even just seeing the development of my relationship with God in my 20s and 30s, how the life experiences that I have experienced have increased my faith in God, my faith in Jesus. It has increased my faith to where my faith now is stronger than it's ever been, especially stronger now at 30 than it was at 20 because of the experiences that I've been through. But I also find because of the different obligations and stuff that I have to go through, it's harder. I have to really prioritize my time with God and prayer and reading the Word because I have so many responsibilities now than I was in my 20s. When I was in my 20s, I was able to kind of sit and soak in Jesus and learn and all that good stuff and just grow, which if you're in your 20s, do that. Soak, spend time with the Lord. Grow in God, develop a confidence in God, and that helps to increase your confidence in yourself. Find out who you are as an individual, as a man or as a woman. Find out who you are and who you are in God. Use that time to grow and develop yourself. Okay, and by the time 30 comes, it's like you got it. You're still learning and growing, but that confidence and stuff that you develop in your 20s, it really. It's like I was planting all these seeds and they're blooming now. They're blooming now in the times that I need them to the most. So just relationships. Another thing is gratefulness. It says in James 1:17, every good gift is from above. Every good thing is from above. Just being grateful. It's amazing the power that you can just illuminate in your life when you express gratefulness. Okay, just being grateful for all of the good stuff that is in your life. You know, Bible says that, you know, the joy of the Lord is my strength. When joy is like watering your soil. Say you plant your seed of joy. You plant that. It's like a fruit of the spirit. You plant joy. And then being grateful is a way to water that seed of joy, and so it can grow and produce its fruit and produce even more seeds. And I think maybe being in my 20s, wanting everything to be rushed and to be finished, you know, right then and there, I wasn't as grateful for the time that I had. Not just being thankful for all those little opportunities and those little times and those little moments, because now in my 30s, like, I'm more grateful. I think just seeing, like I say, losing a parent, you know, like, wow, losing a parent, and the hardships that come with that, but also being thankful for the time that I spent with that parent, you know, the times that we shared, the awesomeness that, you know, things that cannot be replaced, you know, just being thankful for that. And then also just as a nursing student, but still in my 30s, like, seeing how much death, people are dying now, like, young people coming into the hospital with simple stuff and just dying. You can go into a surgery for something and die, you know. So when you have a good outcome, you should be thankful and praising God for that, because that's not everybody's experience. So just being thankful for, like, my health and my wealth, you know, and my sound mind. You know, so many people dealing with, like, depression and anxiety, and because life can be tough and it can be stressful, especially with this pandemic and all the death and going on. It's like bad news. If you want to look for bad news, you can find it. You can turn on the TV, you can watch the news, you can keep your ear open, because somebody gonna tell you bad news is there. But just finding ways to be grateful for the good that is in your life, because that good is from God. It's a way to water your seed of joy so that it can grow and bloom. And that's all I got for y'all. I hope it was encouraging and inspiring to you. Hey, drop some comments if you have some you know, some tips or whatever, or some things that you want to share that you learned, you know, from your 20s or 30s, or 30s to 40s, 40s to 50s, 50s to 60s, 60s to 70s, 70s, 80s, whatever. Just some nuggets of wisdom that you want to share. Go ahead and drop them in the comments below. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Okay, love y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.